So today we will be discussing the objective questions which are related with the microprocessor 8085 as well as 8086. The first question is in 8086, if the instruction is written as move AX 0005, it belongs to which addressing mode? The purpose of this particular instruction is to copy 0005 hexadecimal number in the AX register. So whenever the data is supplied or the address is supplied immediately within the instruction, naturally this instruction will be an immediate addressing mode. Because in case of register addressing mode, the source must be assigned as the name of the register. If we want to copy address, it will be a direct addressing. So the answer of this particular is C, that is immediate addressing, in which we want this data 0005 immediately to be copied in the AX register. So the answer is immediate addressing mode. Second question is in 8086 instruction, move AX BX is an example of what? Now here, with this instruction, what we want to copy the data from the memory to the AX register. Now in case of 8086, the physical address are generated by the combination of two 16-bit addresses. One is called base address and another is called offset address. The base address will be identified by segment registers: data segment, code segment, stack segment, or the extra segment. Since in this case, we want to copy a data, so it means base address will be defined by the data segment. So whatever is the content of the data segment register, that will be considered as the base address. And the physical address is generated by combining the base address with the offset address. Here, the offset address is given, but it is defined in BX. So BX is the register which contains a 16-bit data, and that will be working as a address, and that address will be an offset address. So naturally, this is indirect way of register indirect addressing mode, in which the data, the address is residing in the register. So that is the example of a register indirect addressing mode. Because in the direct addressing mode, the address here should be mentioned directly. If it is present in the register, so it will be register addressing mode. Because you have seen the register addressing modes will be if this is not defined, if it is written like this, then that will be example of a register addressing in which we want to copy the data which is present in the BX register into the AX register. Since in this case, here the brackets are there, so it means BX is not a data, but content of BS is actually the address, and that address will be working as an offset address. So this is an example of a register indirect addressing mode. The third one is in 8086, if the offset of the operand is stored in one of the index register. We have many index register. We have source index register and the destination index register, besides other registers. Then if the operand is stored, the offset of an operand means the offset address is defined in the index register, then it belongs to which addressing mode? So naturally, it will be a indirect indexed addressing mode. Because in case of based indexed addressing, you have to have define the address along with the index. But since the offset is present in the index register, so it is an example of a indexed addressing mode. The next one is the 8086. The content of a base register are added to the content of index register. It means the base register is have to be added with the content of the index register. Then that addressing mode which it belongs to, which it will be what? Because it is not an index, because in case of index addressing mode, the so it will be the base register are added with the content of index register. So it is actually an example of a based indexed and relatively based index addressing mode. The next question is, in 8085, microprocessor supports how many modes? We know that microprocessor works in two modes. One is called maximum mode and another is called minimum mode. So number of modes in which the microprocessor operates are two. So the answer of this question is A, that is T, 2. Which of the following is not a feature of 8086? The first one is it uses two stages of pipelining. Second one is it is available in 3 versions based on the frequency of operations. Third one is fetch stage can prefetch up to 6 bytes of the instruction, and it has 512 vectored interrupt. Now the pipelining is being used in 8086, so one A option is not the correct one. 8086 is available in the 3 frequency ranges, 6, 8, and 10. So it is also not the answer. Third one is it used to fetch, prefetches the instruction prior to its execution, and the queue size is 6 bytes. So it is also not. So it is it has 512 vectored interrupt is the correct answer. 8086 can access up to what? Up to what memory location? Now, what is the capacity of addressing of 8086? It actually it wants to know that. We know that in 8086 we have 20-bit address lines. So if we have 20-bit address lines, so it will be able to access 2 to the power 20. And 2 to the power 20 is equal to 1 megabyte is the correct answer, B. Because 2 to the power 20 is going to become 1 megabyte. So 1 megabyte is the correct answer. It is neither 512 nor 2 megabyte nor 256 kilobyte. The next question is 8086 says how many addresses? Physically, we have 16-bit address lines, but actually the address bus is of the size of 20-bit. Because with the help of 20-bit, we are able to access 2 to the power 20, 1 megabyte of the memory. Which flag is set to 1 when the result of arithmetic or the logic operation is 0, else it is set to 0. Now, whenever we do any arithmetic and the logic operation, it is very natural that it will be going to affect the flags. And if the result of doing arithmetic and the logic operation, it is going to result in 0, it means we have 5 flags: 0, carry, auxiliary carry, parity, and sign. So naturally, it is going to set 0 flag as 1. Otherwise, it will put 0. So the correct answer is B, that is 0 flag. Which flag represents the result when the system capacity is going to exceed, meaning thereby this is a problem related with the 8086. If the capacity is going to exceed, if you have a glass and you are able to fill the water up to 300 ml, and after 300 ml, if you want to fill the glass, it is going to overflow. Similarly, if you are going to store the result, if you are going to do certain operation and it is going to store the result which is beyond its capacity, so it means overflow flag is the correct answer. It is used to write the data into the memory or output device depending upon the status of memory oblique input output signal. Now, as far as the first signal is concerned, it is interrupt request signal. It is not used for writing of the data. HLDA is an acknowledge signal which is received by the devices. HR means hold request signal which is sent by the device. So it means all these three signals are not applicable because only the write signal is applicable for writing the data either in the memory or on the output device. So the correct answer is the D, that is the write signal. The different ways in which a source operand is denoted in an instruction is known as, we know how the operands are defined, and we have different ways by which operands can be defined. Operand can reside into the memory location. Operand can reside in the register. Operand can be sent to the destination place with the help of by supplying it immediately. So actually, the different way of defining the operand in any instruction, so different way of defining the operand is known as addressing mode. So the D is the correct answer. In 8086, the bus interface unit contains FIFO register, first in, first out register of the size byte. In 8086, we have two units. One is called bus execution unit, another is bus interface unit and execution unit. And the purpose of bus interface unit is to pre-fetch the instructions which are required to be decoded or executed. And after fetching those instructions, they are put in a queue. And the capacity of queue in 8086 is 6 bytes, means 6 instructions can be put in the queue in case of 8086. So second one is the correct answer, 6. In 8086, the 1 megabyte of the memory can be divided into segments. Normally, we use segmentation of the memory for advantageous purpose so that we are able to distinguish the code, the data, the stack, and the extra segment. And individual segments which are used in 8086 is of the size of the 64 kilobyte, just because of the reason that 16-bit register can store the address of that. So we have 1 megabyte of the memory, but this 1 megabyte of the memory is divided into segments, and the size of the segments are 64 kilobytes. So B is the correct answer. Now you have to fill the gap that this address, the address of a memory is a 20-bit address for the 8086 microprocessor. So we know that in 8086, we used to use many kinds of addresses. We nominate many kinds of, we call some address as a base address, some address as a offset address. And with the help of base address and the offset address, we combine these two addresses together to generate another address. And that address is called physical address. So this physical address, 20-bit address, is called the physical address of the memory. So A is the correct answer. The offset of a particular segment varies from. Now, as I told you that the physical address is generated with the help of two addresses. One is base address and another is the offset address. Base address is defined by the segment registers, and offset address is defined by the index registers or something else. So the value of the offset address varies, the range in which it varies. It can start from 0000 because each segment is of the size of 64 kilobytes, and 64 kilobyte can be addressed with the help of 0000 as the starting address, and FFFF is the last address. So B is the correct answer. Now the next question is, which causes the microprocessor to immediately terminate its present activity? Now in this we have four options: reset, interrupt, both, and none of these. Of course, whenever we push a reset button, all the operations of the microprocessors are terminated immediately. And in case of interrupt signal, whenever interrupt is received by microprocessor, it used to complete its work, and then it is going to handle the interrupt line. So it means A is the correct answer, because by using reset signal, all the operations of the microprocessor can be terminated immediately. What INTR implies for? INTR stands for interrupt request. So A is the correct answer. Handshaking mode of the data transfer is what kind of it is? Is it synchronous? Is it an asynchronous or interrupt or label mode? Actually, handshaking mode of data transfer is the synchronous data transfer. What is synchronous data transfer scheme? In synchronous data transfer scheme, the working is done simultaneously. Whenever a request is being sent, immediately it has to respond. So what is done in handshaking mode? We used to exchange two signals. One is the request signal, another is the acknowledge signal. Meaning whenever a request signal is sent by a processor to a device, and when the device will be ready to transfer the data, it sends an acknowledge signal. So in the form of handshaking signal, both the devices are going to agree together that we are ready to transfer the data. So handshaking mode of data transfer is actually the synchronous data transfer. In 8085 microprocessor system with a memory mapped input output, which of the following is true? What we have two mapping scheme in 8085. One is memory mapped input output, and another is input output based input output. In case of input output based input output mode, the input output devices are considered as a separate device other than the memory. So 8 address lines will be required to address 256 input output devices. We will be using separate input and output instruction for either reading the data from the peripheral device or for writing the data. And there will be maximum 256 input or the output devices. So in case of memory mapped input output scheme, what happens? Input output devices are considered similar to the memory device. So all the instructions which are used for memory operations, the SOEM instructions are being used for the input output devices. So fourth is the correct answer. That is, arithmetic and the logic operation can be directly performed with the help of input output data. In an 8085 microprocessor, why is ready signal used? Ready signal is used for waiting purpose. So first answer is to indicate the user that microprocessor is working and is ready for use. No, it's wrong. To provide proper wait state and the microprocessor is communicating with the slower memory device. So the second one is the correct answer, because the ready signal is used to provide proper wait state for the microprocessor, which is used to communicate with the slower input and the output device. Now, Consider the flags: sign flag, trap flag, parity flag, auxiliary carry flag. Which one of these flags are not present in 8085? We know that in 8085 sign flag is present, parity flag is present, and auxiliary carry flag is present. And trap flag is not present in 8085, but actually it is the part of the 8086 processor. In 8085, we use 5 flags: sign, parity, auxiliary carry, 0, and carry. So it means the correct answer is 1, 3, and 4. So D is the correct answer. Last one is the correct. Fourth one is the correct answer. The cycle required to fetch and execute an instruction in 8085, what is known as that cycle? The cycle which includes fetching as well as executing, that is known as instruction cycle, because instruction cycle contains the fetching operation as well as the execute. Total time taken for an instruction to be executed is known as instruction cycle. The time required to execute one instruction is known as instruction cycle. And this execution can be done only after the fetching. So fetching plus execution both includes in the instruction cycle. Now, what is the meaning of clock cycle? Clock cycle is the time in which one subdivision of operation which the microprocessor used to perform. Memory cycle, whenever it is going to do some operation with the memory. Machine cycle is a kind of a cycle in which it is related with the fetching operation. Whenever a microprocessor used to fetch any memory or input output device, that is known as machine cycle. So instruction cycle is the correct answer. Memory address off for the trap interrupt. We have seen that we have vectored interrupts in which we have RST 5.5, RST 6.5, RST 7.5 trap, along with different RST instructions. So the instructions which are used, the interrupt line which is used, or the memory address of the trap interrupt is actually 0024. If you go to the vector diagram of the interrupt, you will find that it is 0024. Read interrupt mask RIM is an instruction to check what? It is used to check whether the interrupt is masked or not. It is used to check whether the interrupt is masked or not. So B is the correct answer. What are the software interrupts? We know we have two kinds of interrupts: hardware interrupt and the software interrupt. Hardware interrupts can be categorized in the form of a RST 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, and the trap. Why these four interrupts are called hardware interrupt? Because it is the hardware device which is connected through these lines are going to interrupt the processing of the microprocessor. So that is why these are the hardware. And the software interrupt contains the instructions, and those instructions are RST0, RST1, RST2, RST3, RST4, RST5, RST7, 6, and RST7. So RST0 to 7 are the software interrupt. Which stack is used in 8085? 8085 uses a stack that is last in, first out. So it is the B, which is the correct answer of this. What is meant by maskable interrupts? Maskable interrupts are those interrupts which can be avoided, which can be delayed. And non-maskable interrupts are those interrupts which cannot be turned off, which cannot be delayed. So it means maskable interrupts are those interrupts which the programmer can use to turn it off. So the B is the correct answer, because maskable interrupts can be avoided by writing a program, by writing a control word into a control register. So this is the correct answer, an interrupt that can be turned off by the programmer. In 8086, the overflow flag is set when? What happened? I have already told you that it is applicable in the if the sum is more than 16 bit, it is not so, because whenever the sum is going to become more than 16 bit, the carry flag will be representing uh, the bit. It is the signed number to go out of the range after an arithmetic operation. Whenever we do any arithmetic operation and we are using signed number, and while using the signed number, the result which we have obtained to store, it is going to cross the limit of the storage capacity of the register. It means overflow flag is representing the, so the correct answer is B. A sequence of two registers that multiplies the content of D pair by 2 and stores the result in the HL pair register is what? You know, we want to say that we want to multiply the content of D pair register by 2, or we can do this thing by doing addition of the content of the register twice. So for that particular purpose, we can use the instruction XCHD, with which what it will be doing, D pair content is exchanged with the HL pair content, and then the DADD is going to add the content of HL pair with the content of HL pair. So since the content of D pair has been exchanged and copied in the HL pair, and we are adding the HL pair content with itself, it means what we are doing, the content of D pair is being multiplied by 2. So D is the correct answer. So how many T states are required for the out instruction? Out 80 instruction. So actually it used to take 10 T states. Why it used to take 10 T state? Because in case of out, since it is a 2-byte instruction, 1 byte will be used to fetch out. So 1 machine cycle and 4 T state. Second machine cycle, it will be going to read. It is going to fetch the 80, which is the port address of the output device. So it will take 3 T state. So 4 plus 3, 7. And then what will happen? Whatever is the content of accumulator, it will be copied actually at the 80 port. So again, there will be again a new machine cycle, that is third machine cycle, which will be taking 3 T states. So 4 plus 3 plus 3. So total equal to 10 T states. If the processor is executing the main program that calls a subroutine, meaning thereby in the main program, a subroutine is written. Then after executing the main program up to the call instruction, the control will be transferred to, so till the control instruction is not executed, it will be executing the main program. But whenever a call instruction is executed, it is going to the subroutine address, which is defined in the call instruction. So the answer is subroutine address. As storing of the data words onto the stack is increased, the stack pointer is, so we know that whenever we are going to store any number into the stack, the stack pointer is decremented by 2. So whenever we are storing the values into the stack, it means we are increasing the data words in the stack. The stack pointer will be decremented by 2. So the D is the correct answer. The reverse process of transferring back from the stack to the CPU register is known as pulling out, pushing out, popping out, and the popping off. So actually it is the, whenever we do pop operation, through which we are copying the data from the stack to the microprocessor, that operation is known as popping off the stack. Which one is the hardware type of interrupt? Out of INTA, that is interrupt acknowledge, it is not that. Trap is a hardware type interrupt. RST is a software interrupt, and INT is the a software interrupt. So the correct answer is trap. Machine cycles in call instruction of the microprocessors. How many machine cycles are used? Whenever we were discussing about the subroutine, we have seen that we have 5 machine cycles which are used in the call instruction. Since call instruction itself is of 3 bytes, so first 3 machine cycle will be used to fetch the call instruction. One is opcode, and 2 machine cycle will be used for the addresses of the call instruction. And 2 more machine cycles will be used for loading the address of the call to go to somewhere else so that it will be able to execute the subroutine. The interrupt mask in 8085 is set or reset by the software instruction. So what are the, whenever we have to do masking, because interrupt enable and disable instructions are used to enable the interrupt or disable the interrupt. And the the instructions which are used to set or reset the masking of the interrupt is known as the set interrupt mask, because RIM stands for read interrupt mask, which is going to read the value of the control register and to decides and know that which interrupt is being masked. But to set or reset, we will be using the SIM instruction. So SIM instruction is the correct answer. Let the accumulator content to be 4F, and after execution of RAL instruction, content of accumulator will be. So it's very simple that we have 4F. We have 4F. 4F will be represented by 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, and F will be 1, 1, 1, 1. Whenever we will be rotating it, so whenever we are rotating left side, so what this will become? This will become 0. And so this will become 9, and this is E. So after RAL instruction with 4F, this will become 9E. So A is the correct answer. The clock interrupt handler of a certain computational machine needs 2 milliseconds per clock tick. The clock frequency is 60 hertz. What percentage of CPU is dedicated to clock? The answer of this question is, once it is 60 hertz, so time will be T will be equal to 1 upon 60, and 1 upon 60 will be equal to some value. And then since it is 2 per second is the 1 tick, so we will divide 1 by 60 by 2. So we will be getting 18.5, because 1 by 60 will be equal to roughly equal to 37, and 37 is divided by 2. So you'll be getting 18.5 as the correct answer. For jump on 0 next instruction, which of the following register memory is checked to verify if it is 0 or not? So actually it is not B, it is not R1, it is not R2. It is going to check the resultant of the accumulator due to which it will be jumping. So jump on 0 means it will be checking the status flag, and status flags are going to be affected only by the content of the accumulator. So actually it is checking the accumulator, not the else register.